Best Buy is currently doing their best to one-up Walmart of Canada, and what do I mean by that? Well, you might remember last year, Walmart of Canada was leaking games left and right. About a week or so before E3 2018, Walmart of Canada put up a bunch of dummy SKUs for games that were supposed to be coming to various platforms, and people said, we haven't heard about some of these games like Rage 2. Nobody knew that a Rage 2 was coming out and supposed to be unveiled at E3, but of course, Walmart of Canada put up a listing for that game, thus creating hype and speculation. And then id Software had to come out and say, yeah, we're doing it, we're doing Rage 2, here's a trailer for it, and there'll be more information about it at E3. But yesterday, Best Buy is trying to one-up Walmart of Canada by leaking 3 major Nintendo Switch games, each game getting a bit crazier after it was announced. So inside of Best Buy's database for games, 3 games were leaked for the Nintendo Switch, and each one gets a bit progressively crazier as it goes along. And now, Best Buy has actually removed all the listings for these games about an hour or so before I'm filming this video. So what are these games that were announced? What is the probability of them coming? And why should we sort of be excited for this? Sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're dangerously close to 200,000 subs, and I'm still very sick, as you can tell in here. Heal me, Walgreens brand Dayquil. And let's talk about these upcoming potential Nintendo Switch leaks from Best Buy.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! So the first game that was leaked by Best Buy is probably one of the worst kept secrets when it comes to new Nintendo Switch games, that being Persona 5 for the Nintendo Switch. Now you guys are well aware, I don't really know anything about the Persona series, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. However, a few days ago, Best Buy started doing promotional material for the Super Smash Bros. Fighters bundle that will be coming out via DLC. And of course, Joker from Persona 5 is one of the first characters that we've learned about and will be the first character released via this paid DLC. And they actually put up like some interesting artwork of him, which was the first time that we've seen any real artwork attached to Joker. So immediately people started going crazy over it, and then of course Best Buy removed this. But now Persona 5 has popped up in Best Buy's listings before being removed, like I said, about an hour ago. They were up for about 20 or so hours on Best Buy's internal computer system. And I honestly feel like Persona 5 is a no-brainer to come to the Nintendo Switch. I don't think Joker is just coming to the Nintendo Switch in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate without bringing something of content along. Obviously, if you're putting him in one of the biggest Nintendo Switch games that's out there, you're going to sort of want to capitalize that if you're Atlas. And if you're sending people over to the PS4 to play Persona 5, that seems a bit silly for me. There's supposed to be a presentation for Persona 5 at the end of April as well. And a lot of people are anticipating that the Nintendo Switch version of Persona 5 will be unveiled at that event. And I honestly feel like that's a pretty safe bet. Out of these 3 listings, Persona 5 definitely makes the most sense. It's definitely a game that I can foresee coming to the Nintendo Switch, and maybe I will check it out because you guys know I do enjoy RPGs on the Nintendo Switch because of the portability aspect of it, and I hear it's a great game. It's a great series. Like I said, I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But yes, Best Buy put up Persona 5 for the Nintendo Switch in their internal database system, and now a lot of people, myself included, feel that we're going to see it very soon. The next game that was put up and then subsequently removed from Best Buy's data system is a game that we had been talking about on the Spawncast for a long time. We expected some information on it at the Video Game Awards at the tail end of December in 2018, and then there was nothing. So a lot of people were kind of upset with the Spawncast for talking about this game, and then no information, subsequent information, came along from it. But it really seemed like this game was coming based on things that we had heard. And that game is, of course, Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Nintendo Switch. I think it makes more sense now than ever, with of course Metroid Prime 4 being delayed for the Nintendo Switch since they've pretty much restarted the development cycle of that game. What better way to hold over Metroid fans than by doing something like the Metroid Prime Trilogy? Of course, Metroid Prime Trilogy came out on the Wii U as well as a digital download, but I could see them sort of sprucing things up and maybe even including some additional features that were not in the Wii U version of this game, and possibly even doing like a collector's edition with the physical bundle for Metroid Prime Prime Trilogy on the Nintendo Switch. It's definitely a game that a lot of people are expecting to come to the Nintendo Switch, and I think this gives the first real concrete evidence that yes, this does exist. These computer listings don't just pop up for no reason. It's not like anyone, any sort of employee can just go in there and type up their own listing and then fool everyone. When I worked at GameStop, it was pretty much came down from the heads up at GameStop whenever new information was given either by the companies themselves or the developers themselves about what games were going to be added into the database. And every morning you could see a fresh list of games that were added to the database, and that's what you pretty much try to get people to pre-order, of course, because pre-orders were very important at GameStop. So to think that maybe somebody just hacked into the system and added these games and then removed these games is honestly pretty silly to me. Obviously, where there's smoke, there is fire with this situation, and I definitely feel like Metroid Prime Trilogy is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and we finally have some sort of confirmation that it is coming, but now they took it off the web. But the final listing is where things get a bit odd for me, especially the final listing for a new Nintendo Switch game that was leaked by Best Buy, though, is where things get very, very odd for me. I almost have a hard time comprehending this, and I've been thinking about different avenues of why this popped up in the system, but the game allegedly is A Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. No, not Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening already has a SKU set up in the computer system. This is for The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, the Super Nintendo classic that has been regulated to the Super Nintendo. There's never been an HD version, there's never been a remaster or a remake re-released on a Nintendo platform. It's only been available via eShop. And at first I was like, okay, it has to be a mistake. You know, maybe they messed up with Link's Awakening when putting in this system, but they didn't, because Link's Awakening had its own SKU. So there's a multitude of possibilities that could really come from this Link's Awakening or Links to the Past listing in the Best Buy computer system. So is it going to be a full-on remake? I think that would take a lot of time, and obviously Nintendo is working very diligently on Link's Awakening remaster for the Nintendo Switch. That is the 2019 release in the Zelda library of games that is coming to the Nintendo Switch. It looks absolutely phenomenal, I think. It's got an interesting art style, but I think a lot of people are warming up to that art style, so a lot of people are looking forward to that game. Would you really want to release two Legend of Zelda games in the same year for the same platform? I'm not so sure about that. And of course, would it just be something like an eShop game? Now, there is no Switch eShop, of course, but I guess Nintendo could release this as its own standalone game in the eShop for something like $8 or $9, or maybe do something interesting with it by adding in Super Nintendo games to the library of NES Online games. Of course, that's been heavily talked about and rumored in the past, but still, would that have an individual listing on a retail brick and mortar website such as Best Buy? No, it wouldn't. So I'm really confused by this. I'm leaning towards it being a mistake, because sometimes mistakes do pop up in the computer system. Unfortunately, the higher ups put in the wrong game or something like that, but a lot of people are excited for this, and the timing of this is very, very strange to me, because of course yesterday on the channel we talked about how there's the potential for a Nintendo Direct in the month of April 2019, and a lot of people are feeling like there will be a Nintendo Direct. I gave some answers as to why I felt that, but the more I thought about it, the more things I came up with. Things like the Super Smash Bros. DLC packs have to be talked about, and what better way to talk about them than showing off Joker in an April Nintendo Direct, and then of course showing off Persona 5 for the Nintendo Switch, maybe a bit before Atlas does their presentation on Persona 5, whatever they have planned. Of course, a game like Metroid Prime Trilogy is a perfect place to unveil it at a Nintendo Direct to get people hyped up for this game. It would probably be something like a summer release for the Nintendo Switch, so I feel like that makes sense as well. But the But A Link to the Past is just really sticking out like a sore thumb, because you gotta remember, talking about Walmart of Canada, those games went up, what, a week or so before those games were announced. And then of course they were announced at E3 and people could pre-order them. So is something coming in the next week or so about a Nintendo Direct that will showcase off Persona 5, Metroid Prime Trilogy, and A Link to the Past? Like, that's just absolutely crazy to think about. I honestly feel like 2 out of 3 ain't bad in this situation. I'm definitely leaning towards A Link to the Past being a mistake in the system, but if it's not, dude, like, all hell is gonna break loose. People have been demanding a new version of that game for the longest time, and to actually see something come of it and to actually get this rumor mill started, like, Best Buy, you're doing the Nintendo Directs evidently, just like a Walmart of Canada was leaking all the E3 stuff. Like, y'all gotta chill, man, y'all gotta chill. But let me know in the comments section down below what you think of all of this. Do you think that Persona 5 is coming to the Nintendo Switch like I do? Do you feel like Metroid Prime Trilogy is finally going to be unveiled for the Nintendo Switch? Another really unkept secret in the world of the Nintendo Switch games. And what the hell do you think about A Link to the Past? Because, like I said, dude, I have a head cold, and I can barely think, and this just makes my head hurt more trying to think of different ways and avenues that this is going to come out, because it literally makes no sense. Let's be honest with each other here. And as always, thank you guys for checking out this video. Like I said, I'm dangerously close to 200,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell as well. That's what all the big YouTubers say, so that you can see my videos when they go up. Check out other videos on the channel. Like I said, we did talk about the potential for a Nintendo Direct in the month of April yesterday on the channel, so make sure you guys check out that video if you haven't yet. Check out other videos on the channel, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video, pending I stay alive from this sickness. Later.